Welcome, everyone, to the Holstein House podcast. I'm the West Virginia woman, Robin, of RobinHolstein.com and Holstein House, where my guests get a great night's sleep at a fair rate plus breakfast. This is a podcast that looks at society and culture issues affecting families in West Virginia and the United States, from food preparation and storage, gardening, home repairs, current events, and more. We'll go around the table and back in 60 minutes or less. So let's hang out and talk a while. Hey, good morning. This is Robin of Holstein House. Glad to have you here with us this morning. I'm over here lofting. I've got a telegram opened on the other monitor, and had someone mention, I put a reminder in that, hey, I'm going live here in a couple minutes, and someone asked me about, do my guests have to wear clothes? Yes, they do. Oh, welcome to the Holstein House broadcast. I try to keep my volume level balanced out there. I'm Robin Holstein, and this is episode 86. Can you believe 86? And what we're going to talk about a little bit today is just catching up on things from this week, an update on Dad, some things going on with Dad, answering questions if there's any out there on running a small BNB on your homestead or in your local area. I mean, because some people have, like, cottages and stuff like that they rent off of another piece of property. Food prep, storage, current events, stuff like that. So we're gonna, on Fridays, we call it the Fridays Live Unscripted, because although I do have a general outline of things to talk about, in case I don't have anybody chomping at the bit to get in here to say hello or things like that, I do have a list of things to go over. So it might be a little boring, but shouldn't be whole boring. I am going to a little more extreme this morning, kind of explaining that, because some of our guests this past week were asking me, well, what do you do? What do you say? How do you do this? And I just kind of wanted to cover that first. And I don't promise to be overly exciting. I told one of the guests that was leaving this morning, I'm not Joe Rogan, okay? Because he was asking a little bit about some of my equipment and the how do I record, and how do I deal with extraneous noise and stuff like that. And I said, well, I use a headset microphone. I do have a USB microphone at well, I didn't tell him it was at the office, because I didn't want to get into that, all explaining all that. But I said it's not really a problem, and I use Audacity if I need to tweak things or to trim audio. I don't do a lot of that anymore. I used to do it quite a bit, but it just takes so long. And I was telling him, I said, sometimes, like today, I'll do the live show, and I may not upload the recording until tomorrow, because when we finish here, and I do a couple of things to clean up StreamYard, and then I've got to go. I got to take Dad. Well, today's INR day. Those of you who've been watching for a while, you know that I go over and, well, Dad will come over here, I'll go over there and do his INR test. And we do those on Fridays around noon, if at all possible. And we'll do that today. And he has an x-ray today. We've got to take him for an x-ray of his hip. So I'll get into that just a little bit more in a minute. But that's kind of generally the way the show goes. And it's sometimes there's topics, sometimes there's current events, sometimes there's conversation, and it's really exciting, and other times it's just kind of here. So glad to have anybody and everyone here today. I'm glad to see you over there on the Holstein House Facebook page. I'm glad you guys stopped in. Please say hello. Don't forget to say hello, because I want to use your name on the air. Julie messaged me the other day. She said, "Oh, I heard my name on your podcast." And she was listening to it on what's the name of that? I just blanked out on it. But anyway, Julie said, "I heard my name I'm like, yeah, really? Yeah. So if you're one of those folks that likes to hear your name, be sure and say hello, and I'll say hello to you. So now I got Yosik over here on the Telegram. It's actually Toolman Tim's workshop chat that I'm looking at because I had dropped a note in there about I'm getting ready to go live, and um, um, Yosik said, just listen to an interview of yours, and I don't, and he said, have you made pants, PANTS, pants a requirement for your guests? And I had to chuckle because he's referring to one of the first guests I ever had. It was in the first few months of being on Airbnb and sharing the guest room, and I had a guest that I have lovingly nicknamed Captain Underpants because he was from a different culture, a different part of the world, half a world away. He came downstairs in his underwear and t-shirt, and I was stunned and shocked. And Mr. Holstein was working out of town, so I was here, and I had my dogs. And the dogs that we had, them Gracie and Jack, they didn't like him. Oh my gosh, they growled at him every time he walked through. But I mean, the man didn't do anything to me. He wasn't rude or nasty. He just came down in his underwear and did what he needed to do before going to bed for the evening. And then when he got up in the morning, he sat and had breakfast in his underwear. And I debated very hard about whether I should say anything to him about it. And I decided just to leave it alone. His command of English wasn't that strong. It wasn't like he was making gestures or anything. He was simply walking to the bathroom and back up. But the breakfast was a little, yeah. But I don't usually sit in there with him anyway. I have breakfast set out, and they can sit down and have breakfast if they want or not. He just, oh my gosh, yeah, it was. It was upsetting at the time. I was tore up because I didn't know what to do about it. So over here now, that's it. I responded to Yozik. I said, "Yeah, Captain Underpants, you never forget your first captain." And he puts a picture of Captain Jack Sparrow over a gif, or a yeah, a gif of Captain Jack Sparrow. Um, and I love him. I love Jack Sparrow character played by Johnny Depp. I think it's awesome. But you have heard of me. It says it's small print. I don't have my granny eyes on. Yeah, I have heard of him. I love that character. So that's a good one. That's a good one. I like all of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies with Jack Sparrow in them. Except I didn't like what was that last one? Oh darn it! It was the one with the map. The map to the well, they all kind of have a map. No, this was it was. I think it was the last one. I really didn't like that one. The first one was the best. They usually are, but I didn't like that last one. Darn it! I can't think of the name of it now. Oh gosh. Anyway, so let me get back on track a little bit. But that's I enjoy stuff like that. Oh, if you want to, t.me/Holstein House. That should get you into the Telegram group. If it doesn't and you want to join us, send a message to me. Put a comment here on the in the comment section, or you can go to robinholstein.com and go to the contact page and send me a message there. Or there's a bunch of little ways listed, excuse me, that you can reach me on that page if you want to. So just if you'd like to join the Telegram group and you're not able to, let me know. Cream cheese workshop we had on Wednesday went quite well. The these little workshops that I'm doing it's kind of hard for me to slam everything in because there's steps that you can't complete there. Like when you're making cream cheese, it requires your yogurt to strain for 24 hours or overnight in the refrigerator. And you can't do that in a 1 hour workshop. So you've got everything sitting out, and you're filling in the blanks, and you're trying to share some. Let me do this if I can. I have a page here. Let me add this to the screen, and oops, why is it not doing that? Do that. There it is. Okay, now let me do this, and then let me entertain you. No, let me do this. Now, hopefully you'll see this full screen and it won't be too difficult. Now, I get that sometimes, especially if you're on a mobile phone or something like that, it can be hard to see, but hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. What I took to the workshop, these are flour sack towels, just from the local big box store, home store, they've been washed and washed in detergent, no fabric softener, and they have been put in the dryer. I do not put these outside because I don't want pollen on them. This is whey. It is not a melted margarita. This is just a fast food drink cup. These are bamboo skewers. These are a couple of ceramic, those mini loaf pans, like almost micro loaf pans. It's just really teeny tiny ones. This is some yogurt, some blueberries, some strawberries, some bagels, some chives. This is the cream cheese I took with me. This is a fruit or banana hanger. And this is the instruction sheet. And really, I mean, the quick and dirty is that you take your yogurt, you put it in a flour sack towel, you hang it to drain. And what I was showing my class was that if you're going to do a small amount, of course, you're going to cut your flour sack towel. You don't need a whole gigantic one. You can cut it in quarters. And if you're only going to do like a quarter cup, because this is a quart here. So like say you're going to do let's just do a cup. If you're going to do 4 1-cup sized cream cheese, then you're going to, cut these into quarters, put a quarter cup in there, tie knots in the, I'm moving my hands around like you can see me, but you should only be able to see the screen. You go tie the opposite corners together, and you hang them across a skewer. I put a skewer over, I hang the bags the flour sack towel bags of yogurt in these little cups because it catches the whey down in here, and it's easier to put in a refrigerator than this gigantic thing. You can use, this is one of those, I put a bunch of bananas on these on the tables for my guests, and you can put a small cup here to catch the whey, because the whey's going to start dripping immediately. And then obviously chives or fruit for flavoring, but you have to weight it down. Kind of like any other cheese, you're going to wrap your flour sack towels over here, and you're going to weight them down and let it sit overnight. And then there you go. I mean, it's really easy. But this is a handout that I did for it. And I did one of these, one like this for the yogurt workshop. Did something very similar to this for the yogurt workshop. For this cream cheese workshop, I talked about the benefits of whey and what you could use it for and stuff like that. So I need to get over here and mute my mic a minute. There you go. I had a little bit of a cough to get rid of. So let me get back here. And that's just a really quick, Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. Dead men tell no tales. That's it. I think you're right. I think that was the name of the last one. Stephanie, good to see you. I haven't seen you in ages. I don't think we've seen each other in person since high school. I don't know if I was at one of the reunions that you went to, and if you're going this year. I'm probably not going. I've lost interest in going to the reunions. I didn't hang out with that many people anyway. So I don't know if I want to go to the reunion or not. As of today, I'm not. I don't know. But it's good to see you. I do see you on Facebook every now and again, and follow you and some of your kids and your stuff that you're doing. And I'm glad. You look like you're doing really well. Yeah. I just don't. I mean, I'm not connected with Sharon Young. I see her from time to time because she lives in the area. I mean, that's really about it. I don't really see anybody. Alrighty, let's see. So that was the cream cheese workshop. I'm doing another one on sprouting, um, salad salad beans or salad greens and stuff like alfalfa and mung beans and a few others. Just a little workshop to show folks how to do that as well. I'm doing that on Wednesday. What I'm trying to do is I'm kind of filling in the gaps because we don't have speakers for every single lunch and learn that we've got lined up yet. So we've got I'll do this one. Then we have Heart and Hands coming in talking about some of the programs they offer. Then we've got AARP, but I don't know what their topic is yet. I got to get that out of them today, what their topic is, because I have to send that out to the paper, to the Metro this week in order to hit the right Wednesday for the workshop. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. There is one of the things that I really want to try to, I don't know if I can help make it happen or if I can just kind of poke people enough to get it to happen is a master canning program for home canning here in the area. And when John Kessel and um, Eden were here doing the workshops a couple weeks ago. Um, oh, thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. I'm glad you commented because it's hard to gauge who all sees it and who all appreciates it. Because people will watch a little bit and then they won't say anything, and you never know. I did a brief. Um, it was just once a week, but it was for like 4 months on a local AM radio station, filling in for Pete Thaw on that show when he was running for reelection to the county school board. And it was interesting, some of the things that I learned. And one of the things that I learned was for every caller that you had, you could guess you probably had 1,000 listeners. And I thought that was really weird because the show would maybe only get 3 or 4 calls an hour, unless it was one of those really divisive topics, and you'd get more. But it was really odd because you'd think, oh, I'm doing terribly. But if they had those metrics that there were at least 1,000 people listening to you for every one caller, then that was to me kind of interesting for the area. But not being a radio personality or studying radio communications and working for stations and stuff, just that little bit of behind the scenes. So it's so hard to know. And you can go back and you can see a lot of things, but I'm so small that a lot of the metrics don't populate because there won't be enough information. And you never know unless someone says hello, which is why I always try to encourage people to at least say hello, good morning. And so you get a little bit of a feel and the feedback. And then, oh, I need to take that banner off there. Sorry. I just like I said. There are different schools of thoughts of how you approach your audience. Some of the thinking right now is that you don't ask for the likes, the subscribes, and the shares until later, so that the folks that listen to the majority of your show or watch your YouTube or listen to your podcast, the ones that stayed long enough to hear that are the ones that are more likely to, like and subscribe and share. That if you ask for it too soon, you may put people off. There are thoughts now that, like with Instagram, that you need to research the trending musics and attach the trending musics to your reels or to your photos and stuff, and that will drive viewership. The algorithms will spin your content in front of more people. I don't know how accurate that stuff is, because I'm just not that big, and I'm not trying. One of the guys that stayed last night, we had a couple of Canadian guys stay last night. They were fun. They came in on their motorcycles. They were traveling, one from Toronto, one from Winnipeg. They came down. They met because they had been in the Israeli army together, and they had reconnected at some point after they moved to Canada. I didn't get all of the details, but they had reconnected and several years ago, and so they take these big motorcycle trips. And this year they came down through Kentucky into down to Tennessee, riding the tail of the dragon, and was coming back up and through West Virginia, and headed to Columbus today, and then they'd go back into Canada and go their separate ways. But one of the guys has a YouTube channel, and I would have to go and dig it. It's like Dr. Or DROR. I think is what it was. What was it? Darn. Let me see if I can find it while I'm talking and see if I can multitask a little bit. Anyway, we were kind of talking about those algorithms and, the different things. And he said he doesn't understand why one of his shorts would get thousands of viewers. Oh, here it is. DROR space or AMON is his name. But his YouTube is AM, M as in Mary, ON as in Nancy, DROR. So it's like his backwards last name, first name. Anyway, so he's got his camera on his with his motorcycle, and he's driving, and he says he doesn't understand. He says, I got over 1,000 views for a just a few seconds of video from his perspective viewing motorcycling in the rain. He says, I don't understand it. But then in some of his videos, he's only got like 100 views. But so we were kind of talking a little bit about the algorithms and the fickleness of viewers and stuff. And I was telling him, I said, I don't need thousands of viewers, which is the long way around to that point. I don't need thousands. I'm just trying to reach a few people who are interested in small homesteading, who may be interested in Airbnb, having their own Airbnb, and preserving food preservation and storage. So some of these get kind of dry. I know it. It's better when you have conversation. I can have conversation. I can bounce off people. And the hour go like that. But then I'm sitting here by myself, and the hour is like, oh my gosh, it's only been 4 minutes. So it's odd. It's odd. So Dad's going to. He has X-rays today. I'll come back around to that. I do his INR test. We get that sent in by the app on the phone. Well, I dial in on the phone and upload his results, and then his doctor's office calls us to adjust his warfarin if it needs to be adjusted. But we do that every Friday. Today we're going for X-rays. I was telling you on Tuesday, I think, that I had to take Dad into his appointment with his general practitioner. What we decided to do was update his X-rays of his hip and lower back to see if it looks like just an advancement of the arthritis that we already know is there, or if there appears to be some kind of wear on the hip itself, the hip bones. And then that will decide whether we go to the rheumatologist or go to the osteopath. Then if we think, and he also prescribed Dad a different painkiller, and Dad's very picky about taking medications, so he didn't give him a whole bottle. He just gave him, I think, enough for about a week to see if it's going to help any, because we talked a little bit about the options. Dad has it's not like kidney failure or anything, but he has a cyst in the kidney, or on the kidney. They keep saying on, so I'm not sure if they actually mean on the outside of the kidney or inside the kidney, which you would think it'd be in. But anyway, So there's a cyst that causes, it has to be in because every so often it causes some issues. It appeared that he may have the UTI again, or still. I'm not sure how that works out. But he prescribed him a different painkiller and he gave him some antibiotics. So we'll see about getting that. I'll take him here in a little while to have after we get finished here this morning, to have the hip X-ray and the lower back X-ray. And then we'll go from there. A lot of what happens with Dad, for those of you who may be new to the channel, is dictates my day, and I make no apologies for that. That's fine. So it's entirely possible that things that I'm planning to do, like go to this class on home canning salsa. I don't like to home can salsa, but it's an opportunity to try to discuss the establishment of a master canners program. Maybe I get to go, maybe I don't. It just all depends on what happens with Dad. The doghouse, I need to do that when I get off here. I need to message the contractor again about the roof on the doghouse. You know, those of you who've been watching for a while and listening for a while, you know how aggravated I get over this stuff. I mean, tell me what's going on. Let me know. We have you scheduled for the 15th of August. Oops, it looks like you're going to be on the 20th. You know, don't make me drag this information. There's no reason I should have to be pulling this information out of you. The Ramsey house is where it was. I haven't had a chance to work on it at all. At all. So we get to the guests. So the past 7 days here at Holstein House has just been nonstop. I don't usually like to schedule my guests without a day's break in between. So like when so a guest checks out today, I have no guests tomorrow. They may check in the next day. I really need that full day in between, not only for cleaning, but for things that I have to do, here for my house, my family, and just some rest. But this past week has been very, very busy here at Holstein House. We had a very full 7 days. Last Friday afternoon, my South Korean guests came in and they stayed for 4 nights. They were wanting to stay longer, but then I had the other guests already booked, so they couldn't do that. They had to find something else, which was very unfortunate for me because I really enjoyed having them here. They gave me that cute little spoon that I showed you last week, the little souvenir spoon of Korean wedding ducks. It was just absolutely cute. It was just as sweet as can be. I really enjoyed receiving that. Then on Wednesday, a young man from Louisiana stopped in, and he was traveling, and he was the one that was hiking the New River National Park. I should be more clear. He grew up in Louisiana, not down in New Orleans. He didn't have that kind of accent. And I said, you don't sound like you're from Louisiana. And he said, I get that a lot, but not everybody speaks that way. And I said, okay, yeah, I get that, because we have pockets here in West Virginia where people are really, really heavily hillbilly. And that's not a derogatory hillbilly, but a very hillbilly country sound to them. And even I stop and think, what? So we have that here too. So he stopped. He came in the door, and the minute he saw the piano, he said, "Oh my gosh, who plays the piano? Can I play it?" He said, can I set my stuff down and can I play? I said, yeah. Let me show you the house first, and then yeah, you can. And he just sat down and he played, and it was beautiful. And he said, "Oh my gosh, whose guitars are those?" And I said, "Well, that's Mr. Holstein's. That's my husband Wayne." He says, "He plays all those?" I said, "Well, he plays. He doesn't play. He's not performance ready, but he does pick around and goof off a little bit with them." And he said, "I wonder if he'll jam with me." "Oh, I hope he'll jam with me." And I said, "Well, he might." He's actually working a little closer to home. He's working at the Amos plant this week, and so he's home a little sooner than he usually is when he's at the other plant. And the young man's like, "Oh, I just can't wait. I can't wait." So while I'm showing him the restroom and stuff, Wayne comes in, and Wayne says, "I'm going to take my shoes off, change my shoes, go to the bathroom, and go cut grass before I eat." And I said, "Okay." But, here's this young man, and he would like to play music. And they got to talking, and they sat down for about a half hour plinking and playing and talking music and the play of all things. Go figure. Go figure. This young man from Louisiana plays what song? House of the Rising Sun. And I thought, of all things. But he did a fine job. He was on the piano. Wayne was accompanying a little bit with the guitar, and he was trying to sing it. He did a respectable job. Oh, thanks, Stephanie. I don't know if I had the screen. I was on a different screen there for a few minutes, and hopefully you'll hear me say thank you very much, and you have a great day too. So the young man's playing House of the Rising Sun, and he's just singing, oh, there was a house in New Orleans, just loud. And I thought, yeah, there you go. Yeah. But it was fun. It was fun to listen to. And they got along real well. So he leaves yesterday morning, and I get the room turned and start getting things put together. And I'm expecting the folks from Canada. And I only actually know that it's a guy. I don't realize it's two guys because he just says, we are coming. He doesn't say we're two guys and we're coming and then staying there and we're traveling together and different stuff. And he doesn't say that. So, but that's fine. Don't ask anyway, because the room's set up for two. The whole thing is set up for two. So he, I start thinking, wait, they're from Canada. Oh, this is what I'm going to do. So I look up, I do a quick search on Canadian stereotypes. And I'm looking for cute ones, not derogatory, mean ones. I'm looking for cute ones. And there's one that comes up that says they eat poutine. Poutine. I think they had the phonetic of it. P-U-T hyphen E-E-N. Poutine is how they're pronounced. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. But I look it up, and it's supposed to be one of their favorite dishes, and it's wedged potatoes, brown gravy, and cheese curd, or squeaky cheese, they call it. So I start looking some more about that, and the squeaky cheese is supposed to be a fresh cheese curd, and here's how you make cheese curd. So I hop over to the only Canadians that I know, and I don't know them, that I haven't shaken hands with them, but I'm in some Telegram groups with a few, and the primary one is Tim Cook, who has the Toolman Tim's workshop, and I put in there help exclamation point. I've got two Canadians coming in, and I don't know whether to use full fat or low fat cottage cheese in the poutine. Well, I put a little giggly face, the smiley face with the tears coming out, the laughing until I cry. And I guess people didn't notice that because there was a couple comments about, oh my gosh, you don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not that. It's got to be this. And I finally come back, and I had screenshotted it, and I circled it, and I said it was a joke. I circled the screenshot, my post, and then circled the little laughy face. I said it was a joke. It was a joke. But so I made it. I got the stuff from the store to make it, and I didn't like it. I didn't. It wasn't my thing. Now, I did see also a recipe for it made with a mixture of things that included a Worcestershire sauce that kind of reminded me of Heinz 57 mix. And I didn't want to do that. That just sounded gross. So I didn't do that. I used a brown gravy, a store-bought. I didn't make it myself. But yeah, no, that wasn't my thing. And I didn't serve it. But I did tell them. I said I looked it up, and I looked up what it was, and I was going to tease you about it. And the first guy said, "Oh, no, that's okay. I can make it if you want me to make you something." No. It's not what I meant. I just meant I was going to try to do that, and I I didn't get it done. Well, I mean, I did. I made it, but I didn't want to serve it because I didn't think it was very good. But I mean, it's like potatoes, cheese, and gravy. But it wasn't very good, I didn't think. So uh, that went okay. I did make some pepperoni rolls. I asked on Facebook if folks put cheese in their pepperoni rolls, because the ones that I ate when I was young, you didn't have cheese in them, and you were getting awfully close to a pizza roll if you put cheese in them, and you didn't put sauce in them, because you were definitely dealing with a pizza roll if you put sauce in them. But I made some, and I did have them out, but the guys didn't when they came in, they were drenched from riding in the rain. And even with their rain suits, the rain suits had, not held up as well because of the amount of rain that they'd gone through. And they were tired, and they went over to Shoney's and eat dinner and then come back and just cleaned up and went to bed. So I didn't push that. And part of hosting in your home especially is picking up on those things, understanding that you might want to chat with your guests, but maybe they don't want to chat with your guests, or the other way around. You don't feel like talking, but your guests do. And you gotta learn to balance that out a little bit. I have guests that come in and say hello, go to the bathroom, go to bed. I don't see them again until they go out in the morning. And it's just thanks for this day and they leave. Then I have guests that it's almost like you got to shove them out the door so you can turn the room and get on with your day. And these two fellows, they were really nice. They were really nice. And like I said, they had served together in the military over in Israel and now live in Canada, not close at all together. And we're traveling, and I thought that was really nice that they would be able to do that. And they had they're high dollar bikes, man. I mean, high dollar equipment. They were, yeah, and very nice, chatty people. Loved having conversation. Had their accents were there were a few words I was stumbling over. Their English was fine, but there was a few words their accent uh, that I was challenged by, and I had to stop and think. Oh wait, okay, yeah. So, but it was good. It was good overall. They were very pleasant to talk to. We did get into a little bit of politics, just kind of danced around the edge. I did ask him, I said, is it true? Do people in Canada really think that Justin Trudeau's dad was a Castro? And they're like, yeah, it is. People really do believe that. And if you look at these pictures that you can see, when he was a child, and here's his parents standing with Castro or whatever, and he really favors. And it was, well, how do you think that happened? And well, I mean, besides the traditional biological way it happened. Well, his parents are down visiting in Cuba. His father was the prime minister, and maybe his dad gets a little tiddly and conks out, and mom's a little like, "Ooh, Fidel Castro," or which Raul. I don't know which Castro it's, but I guess it's supposed to be Fidel. Um, you know, or maybe Fidel said, I run this place, and we either do this or you don't get out alive. You just don't know. But supposedly he's the offspring of one of the Castros of of Cuba, and we got onto that because they asked me. I said, "Did you hear about our prime minister and his wife?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I did. I did hear that they were separating and got a divorce." And yeah, really kind of hate to hear that, but it's like, what's going on here? So he shows me on his phone a meme that says Justin Trudeau's wife left him for a real man or something, insinuating that Trudeau likes guys. I don't know. I don't know anything about Trudeau really. I know that I wasn't really happy with that trucker thing. And I was really not happy when Trudeau started threatening to take people and prosecute people in the United States that were trying to help those truck drivers. That really hacked me off. But they were really nice guys. And, we didn't really get in too deep into politics. We just kind of, like I said, skirted around and giggled a little bit about it. Kind of a little bit about religion and religious freedoms in the United States and freedoms generally in different parts of the world, and the infiltration of hostile religions, religions that are hostile to the Judeo-Christian way of life, and how in ancient times it was violent overthrows that caused that to happen. You would have invading armies come in and overthrow cities and capitals and countries and force their religious views on people. And now it's not a violent overthrow, it's the slow overtaking, like a volcano covering an island, just slowly, a little here and a little there, burning away what's underneath of it, the green that's underneath, making it a hard outer shell. That in many parts of the world, the Judeo-Christian religions are being suffocated by calling people who believe that way intolerant and shutting down their ability to worship, and saying that because I have a Christian flag upstairs. It used to be behind me when I did these, because that little spot in the kitchen or in the breakfast room where I would have breakfast when I was doing the original videos, I had the country, the state, and the Christian flags behind me in that shot. Well, you used to be able to display those, and now it's getting, even with the United States flag, it's getting to where in the classrooms and in courtrooms and in town halls and government offices, they're saying, "Oh, that flag offends somebody, take it down." And almost without question, people take it down instead of standing and saying, no, this is the flag of the United States, and it's the flag of the United States represents the freedom, the God-given freedoms that we have here, that make all these other people want to come here. And if you want to come here because of the freedoms, don't come here and then say, "Oh, this person's freedom offends me, take it away." No, don't do that. So anyway, that's all around the bush to talk about just having a very wonderful series of conversations with the fellows from Canada, and they were fun. They were fun to talk to, and they just were very pleasant people, and it was really good to have them here. And by all accounts, I ran upstairs and just took a quick walk through the room. I haven't turned the room yet. By all accounts, they've left it very nice, very neat. They haven't broken anything that was obvious, and I don't think they did anything that's not obvious. It looks like they did a very nice job as guests. So I was glad to have them. They're welcome back anytime. They're welcome back with their spouses if they want to bring them. They're just there's not too many guests that I've had that I would say can't come back. Not at all. So hopefully next time they'll direct book. I didn't get into the direct book with them, but because you have to be careful, you can't do that through Airbnb or really any of the online travel companies that you may associate with. They highly discourage you from trying to direct people away from their service. So I didn't get into that, but I did provide for one of the guys, a link to the Telegram group, contact information that he could share with his traveling companion, and they're more than welcome to join the communities that I'm involved with and continue our conversations. My garden update, there's not really a lot since Tuesday. It's the first week of August. Things are, I know really things should be in the tail end, or not the tail end, but close to the end of the major production cycles. Mine are still just as green as grass. Pardon me. My tomatoes, peppers are not doing any good at all. The onions, I have a few onions out there. The ducks are eating the greens off of them. It's crazy. But so the garden, it hasn't been a complete flop, but it's not done real well. It has it needs more daylight. It needs more sunlight, more direct sun. So I need to move things forward probably 5 yards. So we'll see. there is an attempt, or there is a consideration, or is there is a plan to expand the poultry house and run. I've been saying it all summer. I haven't gotten it done yet. And I am kind of ashamed of myself for that. But in all honesty, there's just been so many things happening that I just haven't been able to do it. And something has to give here and there. And that's been one of them. So there's still the plan. I'm still actually, if it counts, that I'm still trying to find an expansion set for the chicken run. I can't find that very same thing. And I really can't find anything close enough to it, like a different brand of the same style. I don't know. I bought this from someone on Facebook Marketplace, but at the time I could find the expansion sets where you just buy the another panel and then the frame that go, and I thought that I had seen them at Rural King, and I'd seen them at Tractor Supply. And I don't find them at all. And I don't even see them on Facebook Marketplace. And I know I have it in my mind exactly what I'll pay for it. I'll run up and pay for it, boom, right now, if I can find it. But I can't find it. Some things that are going on around Holstein House in the coming weeks. Multifest is in Charleston. It started today. No, it started yesterday evening, because the young man from Louisiana on his way to Cincinnati would have loved it if he had gotten here. Well, if he'd gotten here yesterday, he would have had a blast. Not that he didn't have a good time, but he was really hoping to find some live music, and he was just off by a day. The Canadian fellows were just interested. They're going to Columbus today. They're going to be taking their time going to Columbus, and so they're not here for that. They're just passing through. But this week, starting today, is through the weekend is Multifest. The Pinch reunion is coming up. That's actually a big deal. It's not like a touristy thing, but it has really grown. It's become a big local event, and even a lot of politicians go there and court votes from people. Lewisburg Literary Festival is supposed to be going on this weekend in Lewisburg. It's about an hour from here. Ravenswood Ohio River Festival. Ravenswood's about an hour and 20 minutes from here. Festival of the Rivers in Hinton. Hinton's a little more than an hour from here. It's just a good little piece, but Festival of the Rivers is going on. St. Albans Heritage Festival is supposed to be happening tomorrow. And as far as I know, it still is. I haven't seen anything on it in a while. The Family Guy episode with Stewie and Brian doing the thing. A while. It's going to be a while. I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking. I know I haven't seen anything on it. The Rails and Ales Craft Beer Festival in Huntington is supposed to be the 12th, which is Sunday. Not this Sunday, it's next Sunday, a week from this Sunday. The 16th through the 19th Summer Fest in South Charleston. That's fun. That's like a carnival and stuff. Hillbilly Days in Hamlin is the 18th and 19th. That's always fun. As well as the Parkersburg Homecoming. I'm not sure if that, I seem to think that I saw something that the Parkersburg Homecoming is not happening. But I don't know. If you're interested in that, be sure and search on it and make sure it's still going on. And the Appalachian Festival, first part of Appalachian Festival, is supposed to be the 19th and the 20th in Beckley. Beckley is about 45 minutes from me here in Kanawha County. Oh, that's old. I need to take that out of there. I'm trying to get another dumb headache. I keep getting, well, I know what it is. It's sinus allergy stuff that's happening. So August 4th through 7th, which is today, which is this weekend, starting today through the 7th, which is Monday, today through Monday, is the annual back to school sales tax holiday. Now, I tend to agree with those who believe that the government steals too much from us in the form of taxes. I also prefer a sales tax over income tax and property tax and things like that. A sales tax is something that you have a choice over because I can choose to buy something different based on the taxes so that I don't have to pay as much. So if I've got a widget that's $1 and a widget that's 50 cents and they're very comparable, even though, I might buy the 50-cent widget anyhow, I may be more encouraged to buy the 50-cent widget because it's going to end up with lower taxes. Or if I only have this widget, I can choose not to buy a widget at all and not pay the tax. So there we go. I see this, and I try not to get too political on my podcasts and broadcasts, but sometimes you just get aggravated. And these sales tax holiday things drive me insane, not because it's a sales tax holiday, but it's because if the government thinks that people need to not pay taxes for, in this case, 4 days, so they can afford to send their kids to school with supplies that the last time I checked are supposed to be provided by the schools. Paper and pencils are supposed to be provided by the schools. And the books, the things that the kids need to learn are supposed to be provided by the schools. But now we got the sales tax holiday so that people can afford to send their kid to school with stuff. If the taxes are such that people need those holidays, then perhaps the taxes are just too high altogether. If low-income people can't afford to send, and I'm not being derogatory towards people with lower income, but if people of low income cannot afford to buy backpacks, pencils, paper, notebooks, clothes, shoes, underwear, socks for their kids to go to school, there's a bigger problem here. Low-income people have a lot of opportunity for government support. We provide clothing vouchers. We provide food vouchers in the form of the, what do they call it now? Is it the chip card? No, chip is insurance. Oh, anyway, it used to be called food stamps. WIC, housing allowances, low-income subsidized housing. It's not a lifestyle. I'm not saying that they have it made. Please don't put words in my mouth. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. We provide a lot of supplemental things to people with low income because of the taxes that we pay. People of upper middle and higher income generally don't have a problem providing those things to their children. And the people in the middle have more choices, but they don't have the support. So it really frustrates me when we have these sales tax holidays, because if they have to have a holiday for them, perhaps the taxes are too high altogether. And I could go on. I could spend hours talking about this stuff, and heaven help me if I get someone to discuss it with. If there's two people on here and we're talking government and taxes, oh my gosh, this thing would explode. I'd lose 90% of the few viewers I've got now. So yeah, but it's coming up, and if you need it, I'm not trying to begrudge you. My point is bigger. It is about the government, not about providing help for those who need, because I really think that we should be doing that, but I don't think it's the government that should do it for us on our behalf. That makes us lazy. That takes it out of our control and takes it out of our responsibility, because if the government's going to take care of you, I don't have to. Even though I'm paying my taxes and stuff, I'm not taking care of you. The government's taking care of you. It's not a legitimate argument, but people will make it. I'll let the government take care. It's a way of blowing off your responsibility. Christ tells us, not to get too preachy here, but Christ tells us to take care and to love each other the way we would love ourselves. And we have a responsibility to do that. And just shoving money over here at the government and saying, here, you take care of it, ends up with our money going to support things that we believe, or I believe, that Christ wouldn't support. But one of these days I'll have a special topic on that, but we'll see. So I continue to support the church with with our John 21:17 project, doing the workshops that I've been doing. We're going to do the sprouts this week coming. We've done the yogurt. We've done the cream cheese. We're going to do the sprouts. Then, oh, darn it, I forgot what it was. I wrote it down. What was the next one I was going to do? I don't remember now. It's not going to be buttermilk because they didn't seem to want buttermilk. I did have a request, a lady, that app called Nextdoor? I'm on that. I've been trying to share stuff to it as well with the things going on at the church. And after the fact, so the workshop was on Wednesday. I had put out a couple of the little graphics that I designed to put on social media for it. After I'd had that up a couple days, and I put a reminder up on Wednesday morning, you still have time to get here, come on over. And Nextdoor even says that was posted the day before. Someone's commented, is this online? I said, no, it wasn't. It was Wednesday, which I said yesterday because it was on Thursday that I was responding. It was yesterday. She says, oh, I must have missed it. But if you're responding to the post shows when it was uploaded. And it said it was uploaded on Wednesday. You still have a few minutes to get over here today. Come on. People don't read. People don't read. I talked about that a little bit about the things that I have on Facebook Marketplace. It's clear that it's pickup only. It's clear that I do not respond to the, is this still available, auto responses that you can just one click to. And I'm constantly, and they don't read the listing. Now, everybody who stayed in the last few days here, the South Koreans, the young men from Louisiana, and the Canadians, they all read it. They knew what they were in for, and we all had a lovely time. We all had a lovely time, but people just don't read. Darn it! Oh, I know one of the ladies has a neighbor who wants to talk about canning, home canning, and preservation. So I think I'm going to work up a couple for just basic conversation on home canning, the differences in canners and jars and lids and things of that nature, where to get your supplies, just generic stuff, not how-tos. Then I think I'm going to do one for dehydrating. I have a couple different ways to dehydrate. It's hard to dehydrate when it's humid, so I have those that you can hang. It's hard to use those because stuff will tend to go moldy. But you can use them. I could show those. I have a 12 slot, 12 tray dehydrator, and you can dehydrate in your oven and your air fryers if you know what you're doing. So I could do that, and freezing and taking frozen vegetables to the dehydrator. I think that might go over well. So I've got a couple of those I may work up. And let's see, we're coming up on the hour, so I need to finish this up. I'm still over there on Nostr. I don't have my cold wallet yet. So yeah, you guys, I know you're after me on that cold wallet. And I think that's really it. If you've made it this far, and if you wouldn't mind, to like, share, and subscribe to whatever application you're listening to or watching on, whether this is on Rumble, because it should be a live feed on Rumble. And I'm sorry if you've asked questions over there and I didn't see them, because Rumble does not post the questions and stuff through StreamYard. So if you have posted questions there, I will try to come back and pick those up and reply to them. And get to them. Let's see. It looks like this is going now. Looks like there's been about 6 views. It's not. I don't see any comments over there. So sorry, I have my head turned. If you are traveling to or through West Virginia on Interstate 6477 and you need a spot to stay on your way, the 6477, that's the West Virginia Turnpike. If you didn't know already, and sometimes people traveling don't. And you need a spot to stay, consider Holstein House. Go to robinholstein.com. Look for Holstein House on the menu. Drop it down, select direct book. Just hit the words Holstein House. It'll take you to the page with the direct book. If the other one is the Airbnb link. So you would direct book and check, see if your dates are available, and we'd love to have you. And if you use the promotional code podcast5, PODCAST5, then you will get 5% off your stay. And I do have a couple of specials running over there in case you would like to stay and select those. One of them is my favorite coffee and chocolate. You get some Halls, West Virginia Halls chocolates in your room when you arrive, and you will get Almost Heaven coffee, roasted by the Coal River Coffee Company for your breakfast, and freshly ground as well, because I keep the whole bean on hand and I will freshly grind it for your coffee if you would like it. So it's not automatic. You got to select it. So go to robinholstein.com and choose Holstein House from the menu, and then use the link to check the dates. And if you would like the chocolate and coffee package, then you want to select that and use podcast 5 for your discount. So this is the end of episode 86. So look, folks, we're 14 away from my number 100, and I'd love to know what you would like to see as a giveaway. You got to keep it kind of reasonable, because this isn't a source of income for me. So I'd love to give something away. I mean, I do have cups. You can go to the Etsy site, use the links in the description, and go to the Etsy site, and maybe leave a comment of something that you'd like to see me give away that I have loaded up on the Etsy site. So sorry, my thing was buzzing with a reminder to take Dad for his appointment. Check out my books on Amazon. There's a link down in the description there as well. I have Everyday Upcycle, Nursery Rhyming, My Grandma Told Me, 25 Favorite Home Cook Recipes, and Think Outside the Office, which was published in 2010. But it's still available there if you'd like to get a copy of it. You can also go to robinholstein.com and check the contact page, and you will see all of the places that you can find me, all of the social media options that you can use to contact me and see, and use the Telegram site if you want to have daily conversation. I'm over there all the time. So that's Telegram, or t.me/Holstein House. So that should get you there. If it doesn't, drop me a note and let me know. So I'm going to call it there, and we're going to go. We'll see you again on Tuesday live. It's a little more structured, a little more scripted, and we'll be getting that set up here, and so that you can subscribe to it and get a reminder when it goes live too. So I'm going to go for now, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. So there you have it. Post your comments, do all that boosting, liking, sharing, thumbs up, and stuff that helps spread the word and poke the algorithms. Follow me on most of the big social media platforms, and look for my name, Robin Holstein, or Holstein House. Till next time, bye-bye.